My name's Adam Sorensen. I'm connected to Providence because my dad's the CEO. He wanted to start the company so that he has something ready if I ever get cancer again, and so for the second time. This is my mom, this is my dad. Pretty awesome people.
There you go.
This is our dog Nova. When I was 13 years old, I was getting an eye exam to see if I need glasses for the school year, and they noticed swelling in my optic nerve. It was over the long weekend. We were waiting for the results of the MRI. We get a call from the hospital saying, "Hey Adam, you need to come in immediately because I have a baseball-sized tumor in my head." They put me into surgeries right away, and I ended up having 2 brain surgeries. The first one, they got the majority of it out, but when they did some analysis and found out that it was stage 4 Glioblastoma Multiform, they're like, okay, we need to get a little more aggressive and get a little more out. I had about 2% of the tumor left, and so we had to do radiation, and I did the ketogenic diet with that. After the treatment, it never came back for about 10 years. I enjoy solving problems, I enjoy riddles. I have solved all of them. There, now we have the white. My dad, he's like, I need to create a company so that if this happens again, we were ready to fight back.
I started Providence in 2015 really because I felt prompted. I needed something for Adam in case, his cancer came back. And, we were going to use this cutting edge RNA technology to go after cancer. We've been working with messenger RNA ever since, even before it became popular during COVID.
Fun thing about the Providence logo is it looks like a mountain, and that's actually because the day before I was in the hospital learning about the cancer, we summited a mountain in the Canadian Rockies called Nahahi Ridge. Our family loves mountain climbing, our family loves camping and all that, spending time in the outdoors.
We went and did that hike, and I remember being on top of this mountain, and I remember just staring and focusing and just like, lock it in. Remember this moment, don't ever forget this moment. I don't know how many more I'm gonna have.
That mountain that we climbed right before, we were worried that might have been the last, but I've summited many mountains after that. And of course, now, after 10 years, we've seen a recurrence.
Last fall, it was September, October, he was experiencing palsy in his eye. And we encouraged him to go, see a doctor, and he did. And ultimately set him up for an MRI. And they discovered his brain cancer came back, but it didn't come back where they expected. And it was quite advanced. Typical treatment in Canada for that is palliative care, or MAID, unfortunately. That wasn't something we were interested in trying at that time, but we were able to find a center in the States, in Salt Lake City, where he was able to go and receive proton beam radiation, which is a lot more precise.
Together with a few other treatments like metformin, hyperbaric oxygen, that went really well, and we're in the middle of the fight, so we don't know how it's going to turn out. Once again, I'm going hardcore on the ketogenic diet. I've been on it since I was 13.
It's incredibly taxing. A meal for him would be eating like a stick of butter and drinking whipping cream. He would eat maybe 1 meal a day. He never cheated. He never complained. He just did it because he felt this wasn't just going to help him. It was going to help other people. And it has helped other people. There's other people that have been following his protocol and have benefited from it. We've made a vaccine for him now that is custom for him that could potentially help him. And we're going through the process of release testing to make sure it's all done properly.
It's a little exciting knowing that it might be a potential cure for cancer. That means that more people can survive these challenges and more families can continue to be together.
I'll never forget, Adam's always had this affinity for Terry Fox. The day after he turned 13 was when he had this first MRI, and that was in September. And that's when they do the Terry Fox run. And I'll never forget, we were in the hospital. He was about to get surgery for the first time, brain surgery for this incurable cancer. He was a little off. He was sad. You could tell. It actually wasn't the cancer that was bothering him. It wasn't the surgery that was bothering him. What was really bothering him was that he was going to miss the Terry Fox run for the first time in his life. It just hit home. He wants to be able to make a difference like Terry did.
10 years ago, before I found out about my cancer, I try to imagine where would I be, what would I have done, and The life that I have now and just where we are, it's one of those fantasy ideas that will never come to your mind at all. And so with where I am now, with like especially being like one of the very first people to have lived through this kind of cancer and potentially even twice now, and now that we're making this vaccine, like Providence they're doing great. I might survive this kind of cancer again, which is crazy.
I believe that Providence represents the intersection of hope and science. I wanted the science to work. I needed the medicine to help my son, and I needed my faith. And I needed to share that faith with my son.
To imagine where we have gotten, like it's just truly crazy. Like I would have never expected to be here where we are now. I feel this is really going to help a lot of people, and to see someone else survive the cancer as I've been able to, I really would like to see it. It'd be awesome.
I mean, it sounds science fiction almost, that you could do the things that we've done. We're proving things out in the toughest, literally the worst cancer. And if we can succeed in those settings, we're gonna help a lot of people.
It is like a puzzle. You gotta look at it all angles. You gotta make sure you do the right turns. Sometimes you might make the wrong turn, and because it seems like there's very little progression. It seems like sometimes almost as if you're going backwards.
Whether you make it or not, I think it's really important that you feel like at least you have a fighting chance. We gave that to Adam, and he ran with it. I don't take any credit for his outcome. That was something he accomplished.
Over, down. It's almost finished. I just need to do these 3. And it's finished. If I were to go back and to see my 13-year-old self, I'd tell him buckle up, because there will be hard times, there will be sad times, but in the end, like, you gotta fight hard and you'll make it through. It's gonna be a crazy life for you.
Adam did his ride in early July. His prognosis back in February was 2 to 4 months, and now we're like, he's feeling good, but still we know he's got a serious disease. That really got everybody motivated at the company. Coming out of that, they really redoubled their efforts. We got the manufacture of the vaccine, and then it had to have all the proper release testing, and so that's what was being done. While we're waiting for that, we're starting to make outreach so that we can get him down to Mexico in early August for him to be treated. And part of that process was applying for and receiving an import permit from the Mexican authorities so that we could get the vaccine into Mexico. For various reasons, we ran into a hurdle, and we didn't have another solution ready to go. Now you're faced with, literally, you've got something that could save his life, and you're waiting. And so I pondered on it, I prayed, I sat down with Adam and his mom, and at the end of that discussion, I asked him, Adam, what do you want to do? A lot of Adam's motivation was that he wanted to do this so he could help other people. And I said, Adam, if we don't go through the regulatory agencies, we're not likely going to be able to publish or share the results of what happens. And ultimately, Adam made the decision that we wanted to take the vaccine. And so that's what we did. I went and I got the vaccine the next day, and I prepared the first shot. It's like a teardrop. I remember staring at this like 10 years, through all of those highs and lows and everything, and it comes down to this teardrop size, and this could change everything.
It's been about a month or so since my last dose. Living life, I'm happy. No symptoms that we've ever noticed. We did it, and I'm still here now. I've had a few MRIs, one in September, one in November, and they're clear. We don't see any cancer in it.
To this day, he's never reported a headache. He's never reported anything that we could associate with the type of cancer he has. Let's put it this way, I'm more confident than I have ever been that we can help a lot of people.
The fact that Providence was able to get this vaccine ready, and it's a miracle. It's Providence that it happened when it did. I'm feeling great. I feel strong. I feel healthy. We basically were able to beat the cancer.
I'm proud of what Adam accomplished. I'm proud of what the people at Providence Therapeutics accomplished. I'm proud of the collaborators at the academic institutions, and I owe an obligation to try and make that so that it's not just for one person. I think it has the potential to change the world, the world for people that are fighting cancer.
To be cured is to be brought back to how you were before and everything was just the same. And then to be healed doesn't necessarily mean things go back to the way they were. There's some change involved. I believe I've been healed from that cancer. I'm hoping that this is a bright future for a lot of people now that Providence is breaking through and getting these vaccines to people. I hope they can do that.